Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. Today we're going to be focusing on the main topic for today, with the system moving onto the western coast, and overall the temperature roller coaster that will be happening over the next few days. So let's get right on into it. We have winter weather related alerts here in the west, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings. I think there's a few winter storm watches in there. Or yeah, there's one right here, just a quick sliver there. Then we have some high wind watches, high wind warnings, wind advisories, all wind related alerts in the west as well. We have a few red flag warnings, but we're not going to get into that today. We also have some freeze and frost warnings and advisories in the southeast, as that polar plunge happens in the eastern half of the country, and we have ridging in the west and the central parts of the country. But let's move on here to the radar. So two things right now. I'm just gonna zoom in here on the northeast. So we have some lake effect snow here, especially in the northeast. This is because of that system that was impacting the area just over the past few days and brought on all those wind-related alerts in the central part of the country. Well, that moves off, brings around some stronger winds, and you get lake effect snow. And then we have the system moving onto the west coast. This one is much more a mouthful in terms of precipitation amounts. Could see some high winds here, as the alerts say, but in the higher elevations there is chance for snow, but mostly we have a soaker on our hands here. So that is about it. Let's move on to satellite real quick. So you can see those systems. I mean, you really can't see the lake effect snow that well, but you can definitely see that western system moving onto the coastline, and you can see some circulations up here off the coast of Canada. Let's just move right on into the models here. So here is zoomed in on the northwest, and we're going to track this storm. So let's start this off here. You can see this next round of storms coming in with this low pressure, which we see right here. That brings some thunderstorms as well off the coastline. Also brings some heavier snow in parts of the very northern northwest as that moves through, but most substantially it brings some snow to Canada as well. And then as things move on here, we start to see more of a calmer time period in between this and the next system. But overall you can see just a mess here as those low pressures move on. There's two right now that could be moving on. You can see, I'm pretty sure they're visible too. Yeah, right in here. And those come off the coast, produce all that precipitation, all that snow, and then you start to just get some little flow here, but not much. First, with the total positive snow depth change, not much, unless you're at the really high elevations. Then you could possibly see 6 inches to a foot. I don't think we'll see anything more than 1.5 feet, unless you're in isolated spots where that happens. Now, let's go to the total accumulated precipitation, where we have some higher amounts here. We have those pink areas, which indicates 2 to 6 inches. We have a few red and yellow areas, that's 6 inches plus, but it's not as visible here. Then you also have that blue area, which is 1/2 inch of rain to 2 inches of rain. And that covers a pretty decent amount of the coastline, from the San Francisco Bay Area all the way up to the border, and even past the border, and well inland too, to the Cascades and the Sierra Nevadas. And then you kind of see that this higher amount of precipitation kind of limits itself to the northern Rockies as the system pushes through more to the north. Now let's move on here. So, along with this, you can see that we have a few high pressures steering these things kind of further north, and that's where all the low pressures are going like right now. So we have a big temperature difference right now, and over the next day or so, we see a very cold pocket here from North Dakota all the way through the Northeast. even for the high temperatures, the Northeast is still very cold. But we start to see some 70s, maybe some 80s in parts of the central part of the country, from South Dakota to Texas, and then along the entire Sun Belt over here. Still below freezing in the higher elevations though. Then we continue through, and as that system passes, we start to see these lows start to get into the upper 20s to the low 30s in the west as things start to heat back up again in the east. But generally, we're going to have a very cold trend in the northeast and parts of the southeast, and a warmer trend in the central and western parts of the country over the next few days. Then eventually that will switch. Let's actually see if we can see it here on the GFS, where you start to see higher temperatures in the northeast and lower temperatures in the west for high temperatures. So that is all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.